Alright everyone, welcome to another new video ng Anatomy of a Scam. Ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayong gabi ay ang RSI Wall. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Spyfrat mention this on Twitter or Facebook or sa Instagrams. So, what we're going to do in this video is to just explain everything as clearly as possible before we move on sa parabolic theory and other important lessons ni Senior Spyfrat. Okay? Now, bago ang lahat, I think it's important to just briefly go over how RSI is calculated. I mean, after all, we do need to have a basic understanding of how the tool that we intend to use works. Diba? Kasi kung syempre di natin alam paano gumagana or napapatakbo ang isang tool, hindi natin siya magagamit to its fullest potential. Now, I'm just briefly gonna go over this. You can skip it if you want, but sana panoorin nyo kasi feeling ko importante din to. The formula for RSI is 100 minus 100 over 1 plus RS, where RS equals average gain or average loss. The very first calculations for average gain and average loss are simple 14-period averages. The default RSI calculation is 14 periods, though in our case, or in the case of Senior Spyfrat, we used 30 as that is the period setting we use to help identify potential parabolic moves. Yung 14 periods, yun yung default setting or yun yung as suggested by Wilder. Alright? So the first average is the gain, diba? It's the sum of gains over the last 14 periods divided by 14. Ganon din yung first average na loss. Sum of losses over the past 14 periods divided by 14. Now again, syempre sa atin, or sa case ni Senior Spyfrat, we change 14 to 30 kasi yun yung ginagamit natin sa RSI setting natin. The subsequent calculations are based on prior averages and the current gain loss. Average gain equals the previous average gain multiplied by 13 plus current gain divided by 14. And then the average loss, same banana, previous average loss multiplied by 13 plus current loss divided by 14. Now, I realize na parang iniisip nyo, ang boring naman nun, sinayang ko ng oras namin. But I do believe na kahit papano, kahit nabasahin nyo lang yan really quick, just so you have a basic understanding of how RSI works is important. Okay? Now, ano nga ba ang RSI wall? Alright? The RSI walls, sometimes also known as the parabolic wall, materializes when the RSI continuously finds resistance at a certain level. Spikes or run-ups typically occur when a quote-unquote wall is broken. So, this will make more sense when we go to our examples, no? Okay? Then, similar to price supports and resistances, RSI walls serve as support and resistance levels for the RSI. The more touches a support or resistance level has garnered, the stronger it will typically be. Now, I realize na some of you may have a different point of view kung paano ginagamit dapat ang support and or ang resistance, no? But this is the definition na sinusundan at kumbaga pinaninindigan ni Senior Spyfrat. Alright? So, essentially, the RSI wall is simply support and resistance that you find on the RSI. Isipin nyo na lang na yung RSI parang line chart lang yan. Diba kapag yung price chart, pinili nyo line, diba nagiging parang guhit-guhit lang, nagiging parang RSI. So, ganun din sa RSI. Okay? So, the RSI wall is essentially just finding strong support and resistance levels sa RSI mismo. Now, as I said, this will make more sense once we proceed to show some examples na. So, why don't we do that now? I'll show you a few examples para hopefully makatulong po to para mas maintindihan nyo yung concept ng RSI wall. So, let's just go over a few examples, no? Papakita ko sa inyo ng ilang chart. We'll discuss yung ano yung hinahanap na mga anchor points dun sa RSI, and then what usually happens if and when price breaks above a level of support or resistance or an RSI wall. Okay? So, tingnan nyo muna tong red line ko dito sa Holcim, sa baba, sa may RSI. Kung mapapansin nyo, I removed everything from my chart, and the reason for that is I just wanted a clear chart na wala gaanong distractions, so it's easier for me to get the point across, no? So, even if you zoom out, makikita nyo that this red level acted as resistance all the way from back here hanggang 2017 pa. Okay? Tapos, as we move on, resistance pa rin. Dito, price, yung RSI never quite got there, pero makikita natin in the general vicinity, nagkakaroon tayo ng harang. Diba? Dito rin. Then we move here, price tried to go up. Nauntog pa rin tayo sa same wall na yan. So price pulled back once again, nag-consolidate. Then what happened when we eventually broke out here? We broke out, price revisited this RSI wall. So itong previous RSI resistance now turned into RSI support. And from there, explosive move tayo to the upside. Okay? Next, tignan natin yung glow. So may isa pa tayo example, no? So itong glow, mas recent. So ano ang nangyari dito sa glow? 'Di ba? Ito rin, same level. We have been finding resistance around this area. Untog diyan, untog dito, 'di ba? Untog ulit dito. 'Di ba? Nagko-conso ang globe all the while in this area. Then untog ulit tayo dito. Then what happened when we eventually broke above this RSI resistance or RSI wall? Same thing. We broke out, retested it, then parabolic move to the upside. Or maybe not parabolic but a strong move to the upside. Okay? Meron pa tayo example. IRC naman. So, napapansin nyo, pumipili ako mga example. Tinatry kong pumili ng mga example from different time frames, no? So, this was way back from 2018 pa. I just wanted to show you na kahit na 2018 pa yan o 2021, the concept works. Okay? Now, dito, drino ko yung RSI wall as an area. Kaya ako lang siya ginawang ganon para lang mas mapakita siya ng mas mabuti. You don't have to do it this way. But as you can see, dito, nauuntog tayo. Resistance. Diba? Resistance here. Resistance here. Okay? Bakit ko siya ginawang area? Kasi dito sa example na to, maraming jagged peaks na naganap. Here, 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 and so on. So para sa akin kapag ganon, I approach it similar to how I approach sa pag-identify ng support and resistance sa price chart. Meaning, I always see everything in terms of areas. So ito, parang drenowing ko lang siya para lang mas malinaw. So as you can see, dito rin, di ba? Parang nag-form. But what eventually happened when we broke out? When we broke out in this particular instance, hindi siya nag-immediate retest, no? Tumuloy tayo, price moved higher. Then what happened? Price came back and tested this RSI area. Kung mapapansin nyo, bumalik tayo dito sa area na to, pero price is now way above, okay? Price is now way above where we were nung nangyayari itong pagbuo ng wall na to. We are now higher. So, price found support dito sa area na yan. And then eventually from there, we just started pushing higher. And this area kept acting as support along the way. Okay? Even nung pagbalik natin dito, nag-act pa rin siya as support. Tinanay pa lumaban konti. That was prior to price falling back down. Okay? And now finally, let's take a look at our last example for today. And that's S.C.A.M, no? So kaya ako pinakita naman tong S.C.A.M is para lang i-highlight kung paano siya gamitin as both support and resistance and possibly trading ranges. So kung mapapansin nyo dito, it was acting as support, no? So dito, support siya. Dito, support siya. Dito, support siya. Then we broke beneath it. When price came back up and broke above it, saan tayo nag-hold? Diyan ulit. Diba? And when price did eventually break down, ano nangyari? It now acted as resistance. Hold, hold, hold. Diba? And when we broke above, ano nangyari? We now started trading and this started holding as support. Support, support, and so on, no? Hindi ko nagagawa ng arrow all the way through. Hahaba lalo yung video natin, no? But you see my point. Now, using these as possible anchor points or reference points could help you form trade ideas along the way. Bakit? Kasi as we move on, makikita nyo dito, naulit na naman saan tayo nag-hold. Dito na naman sa may RSI na support or RSI na wall natin. Dito tayo nag-hold, then price kept pushing higher. Dito tayo nag-hold, price kept pushing higher. Diba? Tapos, moving on, ganun na naman. Bumalik tayo dito, price held, pushed higher. Hanggang eventually dito, nabasag na natin siya to the downside. Okay? So, yan po yung mga paraan na pagbasa or pagtingin sa RSI wall. Now, to give you a better understanding of it, kumbaga, mas deeper pa, then ang pinakamasasuggest ko is gumawa tayo ng konting homework, no? So, here's your homework. So, assignment, no? First, observe how price reacts to RSI support or resistance levels and quote-unquote walls, even though the price chart is not at support or resistance levels. Meaning, tignan nyo paano nagre-react yung price kapag bumalik siya sa isang area ng RSI that previously acted as support or resistance, kahit na yung price mismo wala naman sa support or resistance level niya. Okay? Next, observe how RSI support and resistance or walls behave between liquid and illiquid stocks. Tignan nyo kung paano nagbe-behave or nagre-react ang price kapag lumalapit siya or nalalagpasan niya ang RSI support or resistance levels or walls. Kung yung stock na tinitingnan nyo is very liquid, meaning nandun yung pera, umiikot, mabilis, or illiquid siya, yung wala ganong pumapansin, hindi minamatahan ng tao, and so on. The reason for these assignments are I believe they will help you further understand and train your eyes to look for significant levels sa RSI. Kasi sa simula, I am sure na kapag trinay nyo siyang gawin, may mga certain na charts na parang, Diyos ko naman, parang bawat galaw nitong RSI may guhit ako nakadrawing. Parang walang katapusan. Paano ko itong magagamit? So, you need to understand yung difference between liquid, and then you need to understand how price reacts para in the future, mabilis nyong namamatahan kung paano nyo gagawin ang paglagay ng mga RSI walls natin. Okay? Kung gusto nyong i-check namin ni Boss Spy yung work nyo, okay, you can post a Google Drive link in the comment section. And as long as sabi naman ng Google or ng kung anumang app na gamit ko na wala naman siyang virus or anything, we'll check it and we'll try to leave behind a comment or two on how you can improve yung pagbasa nyo if needed. Because I'm sure mas marami sa inyo na mas magaling pa sa akin. No? Okay, so guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin. I hope na nagustuhan nyo yung topic natin about RSI walls. I decided to teach this first prior to parabolic theory kasi ako, nung natutunan ko to, pabaliktad eh. Nauna yung parabolic theory prior to RSI walls. And ang nangyari, at least for me, I had a hard time separating one from the other. So hopefully, by doing it this way, mas maging clear muna yung separate concepts before we put them all together para mas hindi siya nakakalito moving forward. Okay? And as always guys, no, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!